Hello, everyone. My name is Gregory, and this is The View from Out Here. We live in communities, and one of the ways that communities work is that they apply collective pressure on individual behavior to conform to a set of common values or norms. It's as if, as a group, we are saying, this is how we do things, and if you're going to be part of this community, you can't do that, and you have to do these other things instead. If you fail to conform, there may be consequences that may have a negative impact on you. If you do conform, you will reap benefits like special recognition and improved social standing. That's how it works. Years ago, I read somewhere about a tribe in Africa that achieves conformity in behavior in a way that I like. When a member of the tribe commits what we might call a crime against someone else, they are brought to whatever the town square is, and the tribe would love them up, point out what this individual is contributing to their community, and generally trying to fortify their self-worth, maybe even holding them in a physical embrace to demonstrate love and acceptance. The theory behind the practice is that if someone does such a thing to the community, it's a red flag that indicates that the person is feeling low self-esteem or feeling separated from the community in some way that's important to them. It makes sense, and I think we'd be better off if we did something like that. To be part of any community, you have to join or accept the values or norms of that community. When the norms or values of that community evolve or change, some members might find the new direction uncomfortable or unacceptable. When they do, the individuals are then faced with deciding what to do in response. Sometimes they might acquiesce and sometimes they might separate from their community, maybe spin off like a TV series, and form their own community where the offending value doesn't exist. That's pretty much what happened to Christianity over the centuries. There was Jesus Christ and his followers, and when Jesus was executed, those followers began to argue about what Christianity was, and they splintered into 100 smaller groups, each one insisting that the others were somehow not legitimate. We live in a series of communities. Some are ahead of us and some are behind us. For example, I live in the gay community. Communities ahead of me might be Portland, the state of Oregon, the United States, the Western Hemisphere, the global community, and maybe even humanity. Behind me might be things like the drag community, the gay recovery community, the leather community, and the gay social service community, stuff like that. Some values or norms filter through those communities from ahead of us. For me, that would be something like greed is a bad thing. Love is a good thing. Stealing or murdering is a bad thing. The gay community splintered off from the Portland and those other communities forward of us because we found discrimination against us unacceptable. Those values and norms excluded us. I'm a member of that splintered off community and some of the communities behind that. The reason I bring this up right now is that the gay community that I'm a part of is changing. It's evolving, and this one feels like a big one. Gender identity. I have a Facebook friend that I believe is a lesbian woman. She is being absolutely pilloried on Facebook in the comments, sometimes with a viciousness that I find appalling, for her belief that because this new gender identity freedom, there is no longer a definition of what a woman is. It's a good point. She reports that she is receiving pressure from her community to conform to the idea that anyone of any gender can identify as any other gender, and to be accepted, respected in this community, she must accept and respect that up to and including dating a man who identifies as a woman. She feels she is being ostracized from her community for not being open to dating men who identify as women, and well, she is. I want to stand up for her today. Right now, and I sincerely hope this is a phase in our evolution, we are in a space of inclusion of gender diversity. And I think that's a good thing. The inclusion part. I mean, how it's occurring, maybe not so much. To respect gender identity diversity, we are being taught a new language. Men can no longer be assumed to be men, and women can no longer be assumed to be women. Neither of them can be assumed to be any gender at all, or any combination of the above genders. The debate in our community is whether a man who identifies as a woman is a woman or not. And my answer to that is no. And I think my Facebook friends does too. Is a woman who identifies as a man actually a man? My answer again is no. There are only two biological genders, male and female. There are, of course, exceptions, but they are exceptions, anomalies, if you will. I consider transgendered people to be the new gender they have surgically transitioned to, and maybe they always were. During the surgical transformation, I don't know. If there's a compelling reason to label that temporary state, I trust we'll come up with something. But can a man who identifies and presents as a woman be treated and respected as a woman? My answer to that is yes. Can a woman who identifies and presents as a man be treated and respected as a man? My answer again is yes. The problem is we are speaking English, and English language is gender specific to male and female when it comes to people. Some other languages are even worse in that they assign gender to inanimate objects. One of the reasons I love English so much is because throughout my educational career, it can always be relied upon to rescue my grade point average from the damages caused by my math scores. I also love it because it's one of the key methods that I use to communicate. My life's work, my only degree, has always revolved around communications. That's what I do. So we need to develop new language skills. Got it. But the new language, the way we're doing it, contrasts with the rules of the language we speak. The very foundation of any language is that we have a point of reference for what the words that we use mean. If we don't agree on that, we aren't actually communicating. There's little point to having language to begin with. For example, we use they and them to refer to a plurality of individuals. Now we need to adapt to using they and them to refer to an individual as well. It disrupts communication and diffuses the meanings of words. Are we talking about one person or more than one person? I like Star Trek. It's very forward thinking in a way that I think we as a community are trying to be. In the first Star Trek movie, I found it striking when I first heard the new captain of the Enterprise refer to Kirstie Alley's character as Mr. Savick. Now, throughout the movie, everyone was referred to Mr. or their respective rank, regardless of what gender they appeared to be. It had that definitive sound to it to me, like, we're not going to be distracted by this semantic debate. We have work to do. Everyone, regardless of gender, is referred to with the same term. Frankly, I wouldn't bat an eyelash over being called Miss Franklin if it were the universally accepted term of respect for all genders. But please, let's just pick one. I'll adapt. That's part of the intent in changing the language in this new era of gender identity rainbow, to treat everyone equally in respect. But we don't have to learn a new language to do that. We already have everything we need. Besides, with the door open to inclusion in this new rainbow of gender identities, I wonder if anyone noticed NAMBLA wanting to be welcomed under our inclusiveness umbrella. I would think that that should give us pause to consider the possibility that there may be limits to the concept of inclusion. The other part of gender identity, the part that my Facebook friend is referring to, is not so easy. I love drag queens. I think my credentials in that regard are pretty secure at this point. I love them because I enjoy their company and because of their role in our fight for human rights as our canary in a coal mine. Throughout our history, drag queens have been the tip of the spear for us, and I haven't forgotten. And let's not forget, most of these girls are a boatload of fun to hang out with, and I will never attempt to drink one under the table again. Promise. I would not, however, have sex with a drag queen in face, and I'm not having anyone, including my community, pressure me into doing so out of political correctness, or for any other reason for that matter. That's a bridge too far for me. That's personal, and you don't get to decide that. I do. I love the gay community, and for all intents and purposes, it appears to love me too, for which I am forever grateful. But if the day ever comes when it tries to apply collective pressure on individual behavior to conform to a set of values or norms that requires or even encourages me to couple up with someone who I don't want to be with, it will be time to reevaluate my choice to be a part of it. I want to thank you for hanging in with me so far. And if you are finding anything of value, please take a second to like and subscribe. And please don't forget about my books, Basic Video Production, Everything You Need to Know to Make Video Like a Professional, and my childhood memoir, Searching for Saint Germain, the true story of a gay Catholic orphan. You'll find links to both books in the description below. And if you have Kindle Plus, you can enjoy either or both of them for free. Meanwhile, my name is Gregory, and this has been The View from Out Here. Much love.
Summer. Kind of. Well, it's almost summer, isn't it?